So guys, I believe my screen is visible.
Yes, it's visible, Harshit.
Okay, thanks for the confirmation. Okay, so guys, as everyone knows, the topic for today, right, is basically the use cases of Python or the role of Python in the data industry, right? So I will not only tell you the role of Python in data industry itself, but I will tell you more of its use cases, which are not only fulfilling one kind of use case. Okay, why I'm saying this, you will get to know this very soon. Right. Guys, as of now, based on the curriculum that I have seen, right? Let's say if I'm talking about Python, right? So based on the curriculum that I have seen, it is covering three topics, right? One was the basics, right? Second was the OOPS concept, and third was the libraries, that is NumPy as well as Pandas. Right? So these three topics are already been covered as of now. So these are mostly related towards data. Okay, so this is not as such directly related to the data industry, but this thing and this thing, these two are directly focusing towards the data industry. Okay, but this is not all that is related to the data industry, right? There are tons of things more that are used in the data industry with Python, and there are tons of more use cases of Python which are out of the data industry as well. Okay, so let's discuss them one by one. So I'm assuming that now you all know these three things pretty much well, not obviously 100%, but yeah, pretty much well, so that you will get most of the things to, let's say, to relate to. Okay, so I will not this thing much because this is a very general topic. It is not as such directly related to data. Okay, so that's why I will not pay focus on this. I will focus on these topics and some others that I will discuss very soon. So guys, start with, I will first ask one very simple question, which is the open question towards everyone. Okay, so it will be based on what you have learned, right? I don't know exactly the subtopics, but since these two libraries are mentioned, right, so that's why I'm asking this very simple question. And the question is, what is the difference between these two libraries? So anyone would like to answer this? Nice. Everyone have understood, right? The libraries and their use cases, their practicals. So I believe everyone should be able to answer this thing. Very basic question. The difference between NumPy and Pandas.
The NumPy allows us to manipulate and like play with arrays.
Okay.
Pandas allows us to deal with like tabular data and like CSV files.
Okay. So this is the only difference with respect to these two libraries, is it?
So there are differences, but like I can think of that one.
Okay. And guys, who all agrees to this difference that that is mentioned, right? Which all participants agrees to this difference? You guys can raise your hand. I believe Rohit was speaking.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So guys, anyone in support of Rohit? So by support, I don't mean that this is the only difference. I mean to say that whatever Rohit has said or he has told, the difference between NumPy and Pandas, is it correct? I'm not asking about the completeness. I'm asking about the correctness. And also, guys, is there any language preference? You can let me know. Okay, if Hindi is more preferred or English or mix of these two, you can let me know. By default, I am using English as a medium to convey my thoughts, my words, right? But if there is anything else, you can let me know, guys. I have no problem with Hindi or English or mix. So only two are there who are in support of Rohit. Okay, so it's so sad, Rohit, that you didn't get much. Let's say support. Okay, so guys, those guys who are against this statement, can you please present your viewpoints or your thoughts that why this statement is wrong? Starting with the first name, Aditya, you haven't raised your hand. So can you please tell why this difference is wrong that is mentioned by Rohit? Aditya guessed.
I have raised my hand.
No, no, I am not asking you. I'm asking the next person. His name is also
Okay.
Aditya. So I believe he's not in the meeting.
Sir, I also raised my hand.
You raised? It didn't show. It was not shown on the screen.
Oh, I
Okay.
sorry, I double clicked that.
Okay. 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 So you are in support. So Miss Janvi Mohod, Miss Janvi Mohod, can you please tell me why this difference is wrong? So as I believe there are some participants who are joining basically just for the attendance part. So they are not mentally present here. So I would request everyone who is not willing to join, actually, they can leave. Okay. So I don't want any kind of fake participation. Okay. I never consider these participants in any kind of trainings that I deliver. Okay. So just to tell you that I am a corporate trainer as well, and I deliver training on all of the technologies that I have mentioned with their integration as well. Right. So anyone who doesn't want to be in the session, you are more than welcome to leave. Okay. And if I'm asking some question, then you are raising your hand. This is not the right attitude towards the session. So Ms. Janvi Mahot, initially you didn't raise your hand. As soon as I have taken your name to ask the difference that why it's wrong, you have raised your hand. So this type of attitude is not right. Okay. So if you're not interested, I would request that you can please leave. Coming to the next participant, Khushi. Any thoughts that why the difference is not correct? So guys, now I will not take any name. So anyone who is willing to give the answer, so you are more than welcome. Or if you want to present your thoughts to, let's say, tell the differences, you can do that as well. Okay. So let's not waste much time on this. But
So actually, Janvi mentioned that she's not able to unmute herself. We'll just check what's the issue and
sure. No
yeah,
worries.
yeah.
Okay. So guys, I'm paying attention to this because this is very important topic. Okay. Otherwise, I would have not taken the time for this one. So anyone else who would like to tell the difference? There are multiple guys, others also. Khushi, Parth, Pranav, Pratham, Pratnesh. Anyone? No one? So it seems that either you guys are not present mentally or you guys are not participating. Okay, so mostly the first reason is correct. Anyways, I would tell you. So guys, out of multiple people, only one person is there who has tried to give the answer. Right. So I really appreciate this thing, Rohit. So it is very important factor that in any kind of session or training, the interaction should be there. I never prefer one-side interaction trainings. I actually don't become the part of these things, right? So in any of my trainings, the interaction is very much present there, and it's a lot. Right? So now coming to the answer. So the answer that Rohit has given, it is wrong actually. Okay. Why? Because NumPy is not just there to manipulate the arrays, and pandas is not just there to, let's say, allowing you to play with the tabular data. Okay. So there are multiple things with these things. And the most important thing is Pandas is using NumPy internally to do any kind of stuff. Okay. So if you are saying that, let's say, if you're using a very simple function, maybe pd.readcsv, where pd is acting as an alias of pandas. Okay. So the read CSV function, whenever it is reading a CSV file, okay, it is using NumPy internally, right? And you can see the proof of this very easily, right? If you try to install pandas as a library, NumPy will be installed as a dependency. Okay, so if NumPy is not present in your environment, you cannot do anything with pandas. Okay, so pandas is just giving you a beautiful interface on top of NumPy library so that the expressions can be delivered towards the participants or towards the users of the library. Okay, and there are some more functionalities of pandas which are provided, which is not by default they are present in NumPy. But NumPy is the heart. If you remove that, you will see that pandas will not work. And even though if anyone have ever tried to check the downloads of this library, since they are open source, so if you simply go and search on Google that how many downloads of these libraries are there, you will find the downloads of NumPy are much more than pandas, which is a very obvious thing. Okay, because manipulation of array is very important in any kind of stuff, especially in data. And if you don't know how to play with arrays, then it will be a very challenging task for you. Okay, to proceed ahead. So I will tell you, let's say I am giving you one more very simple question, and this will judge your concept. Okay, then I will continue with some of more use cases. Okay, so guys, a very simple question is, let's say I have defined a list with the name of list one. Okay. And let's say the elements are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So this is a 2D list or nested list, you can say. So this will be the architecture, right? This is the list. Okay. So if there is a big list, then it is having 3 sub lists of 3 elements each. Okay. So guys, my question is, how you will fetch this thing? I want from any one of you, okay, only one single statement, okay, or line of code to fetch this thing. And there are some conditions. Condition number 1, you can't use any loop. Okay. Condition number 2, you cannot use multiple fetchings, okay, or multiple statements to fetch this output. Okay. So I know if you guys are smart, then you can try something like this. Let's say if you are accessing one element at one point, then you can write a semicolon here, and you can again fetch one another element, and it will be in one line. So this kind of smartness is not allowed. Okay. And also you can't use any kind of loop, right? So I want that this output should be presented. How you will do this? Any answer from anyone?
Like list slicing, indexing, like providing like
Yes,
square
yes,
bracket.
you can use slicing. Definitely, indexing, slicing is allowed, but is not allowed, and multiple fetching is not allowed. So 258 as an output should be there. It's a very simple question, but it is having very deep logic, which very rare people know in the industry. Okay, so if you know these kind of things, then it will build your foundation, okay, towards Python or towards the data industry or whichever industry you want to pursue with the help of Python. Okay, so guys, I am keeping this question in the backend. Okay, or you can say I've put this question in the parking lot, so it is there, or you can take it as a homework for you. Right at the end of the session, I will discuss. Right now, I will continue with some of the use cases that are still there present with Python that are related to data industry and non-related to data industry. Okay. Now, guys, in pandas, if I say, so there are, or in NumPy also, there are some topics which are very important, and this seems to let's say this seems to be complex in nature as well, but they are important. Why? Once you step in the data industry, you will get some kind of use cases where if you don't have the knowledge of those topics, you will be stuck at some point of time. Yes, guys, someone is trying to say something. Yeah, Jigyasa. Okay, so guys, I would request that please don't disturb in between. Okay, so guys, let's say there is one very important topic in pandas, which is group by. This is a function. Okay, so guys, there are tons of topics or tons of use cases which can be fulfilled with group by as a function, right? But to use this, you will find its documentation to be pretty much complex, okay, so that it can fulfill your use case. It's not that much easy to understand this, and as well as create, let's say, a logic that will fulfill your use case. This function of pandas has almost unlimited capability to do the things, okay, but it is not guaranteed that you will be able to find those things until and unless you have a good command of this function as well as the logic that it is fulfilling. Okay, there is one more function, pivot. There is one more function, pivot table. Okay, so there are use cases where, let's say, the output that this function is providing to you, okay, the use case can be anyone, okay, the same output can be derived by this pivot table function. How you can do so, that's in a separate topic. Okay, there are things, let's say you are creating a classification model. Okay, I'm talking about the machine learning perspective here, or deep learning, or any kind of AI topic. Okay, you are doing this thing, then let's say, what you say, just creating a very simple machine learning model. Okay, and inside this model, what is happening that let's say you want to check the target variable which is present, how many different categories it is having, and what is the count of those categories. Okay, so that's a very simple example. If I give you, maybe you can take an example of, let's say, salary range. Okay, let's say this is the target variable that you want to predict based on whatever the attributes are there. There can be, let's say, 5 categories. Okay, and the range can be maybe, let's say, 3 to 5 lakh, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 30, above 30. Okay, so number of records you will get to know by using the shape attribute. Okay, but the point is, if I ask you that how you will create a proper summary of this, where each and every count of each and every category is present, how you will do so? It can be done with use of NumPy as well. It can be done with the use of pandas as well. But how you will do it and where you will apply this logic? This is one of the point. Okay, there can be tons of other things. If I give you a very simple example, mostly that thing is ignored. So as soon as you read a data frame in pandas using read underscore CSV as a function, there is one attribute that is used widely, and it is just used to, let's say, increase the length of the Jupyter notebook. Okay, so most of the guys in the market, they use this attribute of describe just to let's say, just to fill some cells of their Jupyter notebook, or to increase the output that is coming. But this function is giving you tons of insights. How you will get that insight? Okay, there are thousands of things that can be described, that can be, let's say, understood by this describe function. But will you be able to do so? The answer is no, because nobody thinks about that. Okay, everyone's intention is just to get some bounty points by increasing the length of the code, but it will not, let's say, land you anywhere. Okay, one of the very simple example and detailed example, if I will tell you, is, so let's say, guys, everyone has worked with this data set, Titanic data set. Yes or no? You have seen what this data set looks like,
Yes, sir.
right? So let's say in this data set, if I ask you, there is one column of age. Okay. And the very simple example of this use case is, let's say in this age, you need to prove what? Let's say a skewness is one thing. Okay. Skewness is one thing. And let's say maybe quartile ranges. Okay. Okay. Let's say even though ignore this topic, quartile ranges. So there are multiple functions that will give you the output of quartiles. Okay. But how will you prove that output of that function is correct? Now, I'm not saying that you will use a calculator on your own and do the calculations manually. Okay, obviously that no one will do. Okay, but how you will prove that this quartile ranges are correct? I'm linking this thing to this part. In this, you have to use this. Have anyone tried this? This is one thing. Second thing is, let's say I ask you in this age column, okay, what is the range where maximum age lies? Okay, so as far as I know, I believe the minimum age is 0.42 years in Titanic dataset, and the maximum is 80 years, if I'm not wrong. This is the thing you can check. Maybe it is 80 or 82. Mostly it is 80 years. Okay, but this is actually the minimum to maximum range. I'm not asking this thing. I am asking what is the maximum population, you can say the age of maximum population. What is the range for that? Okay, it might be, let's say, like this 20 to maybe 35. This is just a random example. I'm not saying this is correct. Okay, any range can be there where maximum population is lying. Okay, the question is how you will find this. This is very easy, but the maximum important part is how you will prove this. Again, I'm linking this to this display function. Okay, third thing, by default, whenever you use any column, let's say maybe age only, okay, there will be some blank values. How you will judge with this thing? That whether the output that you are seeing, is it for the complete data set or is it for the sub part of the data set? Because obviously, if let's say there are 1000 rows and from this, for example, maybe 450 are blank, right? Or maybe 350 are blank. Remaining 650 rows data will be shown to you. How will you judge that the output is for this or for this? So these are just some examples that I have given you to showcase the importance of this describe function. Okay, so is there anyone who can answer any one of my question? Especially these two, quartile ranges and this age part, to prove the range of maximum population. Anyone here?
The describe function actually gives us information about like mean, median, mode, like 50%, 75% distribution. From that, we
Right.
can identify like which like in which side our population is more towards like old age or younger age.
No, I'm not asking this. You didn't get my question, I believe. I'm asking how will you get the exact range. I'm not asking where the more population is lying. Okay, because obviously most of the people will lie in this range only. But this doesn't mean that the maximum age range of all of the population will be this only. Okay, so this 80 is an outlier and this 0.42 is also an outlier, right? So if you say maximum population, it might lie between this 10 to 50. But in age column, whether this is having the maximum capture. Okay, so let's say if you draw a histogram of age, it might be coming like this. Okay, because this area will be having the maximum age. But this you are getting from the histogram. But if I say you have to prove that the output of this, which is coming, it is 100% correct by using describe function, how you will do that? That was my question. And same thing is for quartile ranges. Okay, so this much deep value each function holds. right? And it is never taught anywhere in any curriculum of college, or in, let's say, even if you step into the industry, no one will talk about this. And that's the harsh reality, because in any kind of company, they only expect that you should do work for them. They never expect that they have to teach you something. Okay, whatever you are learning, maybe while doing the project, that is on your own. Okay, that is your own learning. Maybe let's say if there is some kind of problem that has been occurred in the project and you have been assigned to solve that problem. Now if you have learned a new thing while you are solving that problem, that's a separate part, but they will never teach you any kind of thing. And that's the reason why most of the chunk of the guys, whether they are holding multiple degrees, okay, multiple degrees, they don't know most of the things. Okay, if you ask about me, I have done BTech itself, but I have been held multiple professors in their PhDs. They have completed their PhDs with solo help of mine, where all of the execution and everything is done by me. Okay, so this is a fact that you will not get knowledge in the institutions mostly, right? So this thing you have to explore, or if you are getting someone who can explain this, then you are the luckiest guy alive. Because for me, I never get anyone. Okay, so guys, these are some of the insights that I have thought basically to deliver it to you. Now, let's say, let me give you some more things about this. And guys, obviously, I can't give you the answers of this and the practicals because the time is limited. Okay, and this is not a training. This is just an introduction session. So if it would have been a training, then definitely I would have loved to give the answers and show you practically each and everything, right? So guys, the next use case of Python is in the data visualization. Okay, I'm sticking to data field as of now. Okay, data visualization, that means, let's say, whatever data is in presented to you in numbers, okay, Python will help you to draw multiple graphs. And I'm not saying about the basic graphs, let's say like line plot, scatter plot, or something like that. Okay, I'm saying some of the advanced graphs. Maybe you can see live graphs which are moving based on the data. That is also a possibility. Okay, maybe you can see a graph which is showcasing density, okay, of a particular column or a particular data, right? Kernel density graphs, box plots, violent plots, what are their use cases? Each and everything is having a particular use case of that, okay? And that is very important to understand if you want to gain some kind of different insights, which you will not get based on simple graphs. Okay, and guys, one thing, one lesson I would like to give you: never follow, okay, let's say, some kind of majority. Okay, why I'm saying this, you might face this situation multiple times in your life, that a majority of guys is working towards a particular thing. A majority of guys, maybe they are, let's say, suggesting you something, but it doesn't mean that it's correct. Okay, the biggest example of this you can find in your college itself. How, let's say, you might find that maximum guys are interested in coding, and here from coding I mean DSA type of coding, data structure algorithms, where competitive coding is being done. Okay, so if everyone around you is doing this thing, it doesn't mean that you also have to do that thing. Okay, so I was the only one in my college who never followed this DSA thing. Okay, so it doesn't mean I'm wrong. I'm having much more achievements than anyone else. Okay, so that's you can say that's the outcome of my faith or my belief in what I'm doing is right. Okay, I was always interested in technology, and that's why I'm working in most of the technologies, right? So now I will relate it to your technical part. How, let's say, if in a particular use case, okay, someone is saying that this will be fulfilled by line plot, it doesn't mean that they are correct. Why? Because first, the person who is telling to you any kind of suggestion, or let's say any kind of graph that needs to be created, okay, the use case of that problem and that graph should match, right? So let's say if you want to, if you want to maybe judge that in which area most of the crimes are happening, okay, so definitely you will not use line plot here, okay, and definitely you will not use classification here. So it's a problem of grouping or clustering. So that algorithm will be used. And in clustering also, there are different algorithms which will perform better based on the use case. Okay, most of us have heard k-means as a clustering algorithm, but guys, this doesn't mean that this is the only algorithm. There are multiple drawbacks of k-means. Okay, multiple drawbacks, right, which are solved by some of the other algorithms like hierarchical clustering and density-based clustering, examples of which are agglomerative clustering and db-scan respectively. Okay, so by chance, if anyone is interested, I've written blog on everything. You can go and check out there with code, okay, with proper maps, with proper detection of each and everything that is happening. Right. So for any kind of graph that you are drawing, it's important that first you need to know the use case of that, and based on that only you will get the right insight. Okay, so this is one thing. Data visualization is one of the use case. Now let's say coming to let's say insights gathering is basically one of the general things that you can get from either using stats in Python or let's say graphs in Python or anything else. So insights gathering is a general part. Now coming towards the specific part, you can say some pipeline creation. Okay, this is one of the other use cases that is very important. So guys, in ML world, I have not seen any kind of video or any kind of blog which is telling you the right pipeline of machine learning. Okay, you can check out the famous channels on YouTube or famous blogs. Okay, you won't find anyone which is telling you the right answer. ML pipeline is very big. Okay, so there are tons of things involved there. Right now, I will not be able to tell you that because the time is again very limited, just 5-7 minutes remaining. It's a very big thing, right? So just to give you an insight, you can understand once the model is trained, is the work over? Obviously, no. Okay, why? Because after that, you have to deploy it also. And that deployment is not the last stage. After deployment, there are tons of more things like continuous testing. Here, the use case of DevOps come into the picture. Okay, you are monitoring the things. Okay, based on monitoring, you are getting insights that how your model is performing. Then you will retrain that if there are some kind of bugs. Okay, and retraining is compulsory. Why? The very basic thing is, let's say if in today, if in let's say today's time you have trained a model, after 6 months your data will be very much old. It will become obsolete. Okay, no one would might be, let's say, getting the right predictions from the model that you have trained, so you have to retrain that. Okay, then you can say Python is used in scripting as well a lot. Now you might think that if I'm saying scripting, then how it is related to data? Because it is directly related. How? Let's say you want to do a particular type of processing. Okay, the very simple example may be outlier detection, right? Now it doesn't depend on which type of data you are sharing. Okay, so let's say if you have Titanic data set with you, I write a script which will clear all of the outliers in all of the columns. Okay, this is a general statement because the complexity will be abstracted by me if I'm writing a script. Okay, this script will never fail. Let's say in any kind of data, you might try to, let's say, make my script fail by adding some kind of bytes data, by adding, let's say, some kind of a string data, not some kind, let's say, completely string data. Still, it will not fail. Okay, you can do whatever you want to do. Okay, you can send any data set that is there, but my script will always return you the right output based on the data set that you are sending. Okay, so this is a very big use case of Python. Okay, and obviously, if someone is smart, they can try to automate their work with the use of scripts in Python, and that is in general thing. It is not just capturing data; it is capturing everything. Okay, you can use Python to, let's say, maybe work on cloud. Okay, so if anyone has any idea about cloud computing, okay, 3 giants are there in the industry: AWS, Azure, and GCP. You can work with all of these clouds using Python language. You can work with DevOps tools, okay, with Python language. Okay, there might be tons of tools, maybe let's say Docker, okay, maybe Jenkins. These all are DevOps related tools. Okay, maybe others. Okay, you can only use Python as a programming language or as an automation bot or automation genie for you, or automation gene, which will do what? This will create a magic. How? Let's say very first thing can be data is inserted. Okay. After all of the processing that needs to be done will be done automatically via Python. Okay. Trained. Okay. Then maybe let's say some testing of model is there. Okay. Let's say after this, some maybe container image has been created. Okay. If you don't understand container, it's okay, but you can think that this is one of the things which is industry and it is related to DevOps. Okay. You can just understand that it's a custom operating system that you are creating. Okay. From whatever you have done, right? Once the container image is ready, you are deploying this container image on any kind of cloud. Then you might be monitoring. Okay. Then there might be some other stuff also that is there. Everything the automate here. Okay. And it will involve this cloud SDKs as well. It will involve these tools connectivity as well. Okay. So there are specific exams also which are targeting, let's say, for example, if you say DP 100, this is the exam code of Azure. I'm already certified in this, and I have even created official practice test with Microsoft for this exam. This is a Microsoft exam, so whatever practice test this cell, I have created this as well with Microsoft. So guys, this exam is related to designing data science solutions with Python. It is actually with Azure, but Python plays a most important role there. Okay, so if you let's say by default search here, so guys, this is just my name. If you search there, all of these profiles are mine, like Medium, GitHub, and everything. You can check out if you are interested. I have more than 30-40 projects on GitHub with related to different technologies, right? And let's say if you just search DP 100. Okay, so guys, this is the exam. So if anyone is interested, you can target this also. Okay. Don't go by name only, that by data science solution, guys. It will involve the use case of Azure SDKs with Python very heavily, right? Very heavily. Okay, so this is an associate level exam. It is not a fundamental level. Fundamental level is AI 900. If anybody is looking towards that. Okay. So guys, these are the few use cases, and I believe since the limitation of time is there, so we can't continue further. However, I would love to connect with any one of you. Right? You can send me the connection request on LinkedIn or whatever. I will definitely be reachable for everyone. Right? So whatever time you need to reach out to me, if you have any kind of query, I can definitely be there to help you. Right? So guys, let's keep it till this point. I believe you have enjoyed the session, and if you have any kind of query related to whatever I have said or any doubt that you must have got by the sessions that were delivered previously, right? You can ask. Or in life also, if you need to know any kind of thing, any kind of advice from my side. Okay, so guys, now the forum is open for all the doubts. If anyone would like to ask, more than welcome, guys. So guys, anything from anyone's end? Yes or no?
So I would like to answer the question which you asked at the starting regarding getting the second column.
Yeah.
So we can use like square brackets at the end of the variable name that was list, and then it accepts two values. So first, we can pass a single colon to accept all the rows, and then followed with a comma, we can pass the column number, which was 1. That will give us the values for the second column.
Okay. So very well tried, Rohit, but the answer is wrong. If you would like to try, you can try to write this in your code. It will fail. It will give you an error, not based on the indexing that you are doing, but it will give you an error of support. Logically, your answer is correct. Okay, so why I picked this question? Because this is the most important difference between a list and an array. So this is just a bounty point or bounty topic from my side. Okay, list doesn't support column-based indexing. So whatever you have said, if you write this with respect to NumPy array, it will definitely give you the 100% correct result. But in case of list, it will give you error. You can't do double indexing there based on column. Okay. If you want to check, anyone can check, guys. Okay. So guys, anything else for me from anyone? Yes or no, guys? At least answer yes, no, maybe. Maybe something can be there. Anything?
So can you suggest some more courses that we can actually take up or look for if we are trying to go further in this?
Course related to which field?
So data science, artificial intelligence, something like
I actually, to be very honest, the problem is that if you target any kind of hot technology in the market, whether it's, let's say, DevOps, cloud, data, or anything, the point is the right knowledge or the complete knowledge is not available. Why I'm saying this? Because when I didn't started writing the blogs or let's say helping any of the community out there, I myself was struggling with a lot of things with these technologies itself. The problem is everyone today is trying to copy paste. Okay, so let's say if a person X has written something, now the people around that person will also have a mentality that why this person should become famous, why not I? So they try to just copy, even though they don't think that the content that is posted it might be wrong. And mostly this happens. So just in the race to become famous or to get publicity, this thing is happening. Okay. So based on my research, I have never seen the right things are posted. So if you want to get some trusted content, so I will say that as of now, you can check out my blogs. And still, if you want to find a course particularly targeting a field, so then you can just text me. I will try to find and give you the best available. Okay, and I am telling you just now that that thing will not be complete. Okay, it might not give you the complete knowledge. It might cover the only things which are very much popular. Okay, so very basic example, if I try to give you, who is here who can confidently say to me that I know gradient descent? Is there anyone who can say that I am perfect in gradient descent? That's the backbone of machine learning and deep learning as well and AI as well. So guys, if you are not confident in machine learning, sorry, in gradient descent, then guys, you can take this in written from me that your understanding will always be zero, except two, three algorithms like KN and K-means because their gradient descent is not used. And these algorithms are very limited. Otherwise, even if you say linear regression, it is using this. Okay, somewhere logistic regression, every algorithm is using this. And deep learning is completely dependent on this. Right. So it is having a lot of things, but you will not find the right thing anywhere. Okay. So if anyone is interested, you can connect with me personally. Okay. You can tell me the specific topic, and based on that, I will give you the best available resource as of now in the market. Okay. And moreover, I will suggest that you can check out my Medium profile, and from there you can check if I have written the blog on something which you are interested in. You can definitely go and read that. You will find that the different context is set up first, and then the topic has been explained, okay, in depth. And you can just subscribe to newsletter as well. You will get the update of my blog that I will write in future as well. Okay. So is anything else from my side? If anyone would like to know any question, I didn't get any response. Yes or no, guys? I haven't heard anything.
So that will be it for the session, I guess.
Yeah.
So thank you, Harshit, for the amazing session. And I am sure that many of our attendees will be contacting you in person for your guidance in the future.
Sure, Manasvi. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you. Now I would
Okay.
like to congratulate the winners of our quizzes, Dhanush and Janvi, and our active participant Rachna for their attentiveness and enthusiasm to learn. And these will be getting the goodies as promised. Also, a feedback form will be circulated, and only those who will fill the form will be getting their certificates. So make it a point that you all fill the feedback forms. With this, we are at the end of our event. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our director, Dr. Sachin Untavale, who has provided us with such an influential platform to come up with learning events for everyone. Thank our chapter leaders for their guidance and support.
Okay, guys, thanks a lot for being in the session. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Harshit, for your time. It was amazing having you here. And I am really looking forward to connecting with you. And I hope all the participants are excited too. Pranav, can you please drop the link in the chat box so that everyone can fill out the feedback form? Is the chat box visible to all the participants? Can anyone please confirm?
No, ma'am.
All right, then we'll be sharing this feedback link in the group, in the WhatsApp group, and you'll have time till 9 p.m. today to fill this out. Please make it a point that you fill out the feedback form. And again, congratulations to all the winners and even the participants for staying with us for 4 days and till the end of this bootcamp. Thank you so much all for joining in.
Thank you, ma'am.